Hey everybody, what's going on? Brian here. I just thought I'd do a live today. What's everybody up to today? So I thought I'd do a live here. Four Corners Report. What's up? Four Corners Report. So last night, I'm going to start, even though we've only got 7 people in here. Last night, I'm going through the Six Banger. What's up? I'm going through the live, and I couldn't get a chance to watch the one with the real here's the deal or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure what the guy. I don't like the guy much. So, but it's here's the deal or something like that. And they've got Long Island audits. Now I don't know how many of you watch Long Island audits or how many of you even give a shit about that. SWE Observer, what's going on? I don't know how many of you, give a shit about what's going on and so forth. But Long Island Audits has only been in this for a very short amount of time. And this kid has the link is pinned up to the top there. Anybody wants to come up and debate, talk, agree, disagree, tell me I'm a fucking asshole, tell me whatever you like, come on up. And I don't know, but Long Island Audits, I mean, he's probably one of my favorite auditors. All right, he's right up there with some of the like Amagansett. I put him right up there in the same classification of Amagansett. And I enjoy watching the kid. I enjoy watching the way he does his audits. I like the way he does his audits. He goes in there with no bullshit. Okay, takes no bullshit, accepts no bullshit, and gets the fucking job done. And when he leaves there, ain't nobody messed with his rights because he knows his shit. He's done his homework. All right. Now, that's not always been the case. All right. His first audit that he was on, he got busted, got arrested, blah, blah, blah. And instead of going to court and so forth, he took a diversion. And basically, within the diversion that he took, he had to write a letter apologizing to the sheriff for the incident of getting arrested. And so I'm not going to get into what he did or didn't do, but he had to write a letter to this sheriff apologizing. Well, any of the long-time auditors, fuck you, ain't going to do it. Send me to jail. I don't care. Because especially when he didn't understand that his rights had not been been broke. He thought that what he'd done, he'd gone overboard. He thought he'd went too far. In his own thought, he thought he'd went too far. So he apologized and so forth. And said and made the mistake of saying, "Hey, look, you didn't break my rights and so forth. I was incorrect. I'm sorry," and so forth. Later on, found out that he did. So then there's 2 years. There's 2 years. This was over 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, Sean gets on to a couple of other panels, and he apologizes for the letter. He says, "Look, I didn't realize that I was in the right. I thought I'd gone too far." Anyways, he apologized, all right? So, okay, that's it. Goodbye. Bye-bye. It's over. See, this kid's growing too fast now. He spent, 2 years, over 2 years, I guess, not 1 year. 2 years, and he's already got 376,000 freaking subscribers. And he's done it because he's good at what he does. He does his homework. He knows his shit. When he goes in there, he knows what's happening. He knows how far he can go. He knows what he's able to do. And that's what he does. And if someone comes and says, "Hey, you can't film here," he says, "No, you're incorrect. If they come and say, hey, you can't film me, he says, no, you're incorrect. And if they say, either you leave or I'm calling the cops, bring them on, call the cops. And he waits around. And he doesn't, when the cops show up, he's not screaming at them. I get a little excited. I mean, I raise my voice to him. I might even call him a name or two. I'm not the, I am not the one without sin. So, I will not cast the first stone. But he does it to the point of where he has shown them they are wrong. And he's done it without using profanity, like I would do, or making someone feel like they're an idiot or whatever. He does it in a decent, respectable way. Even with the cops, he's respectable and so forth. So, that's fine. Well, not with San Joaquin Monitz. No. San Joaquin Monitz can't let it go. This is 2 years ago. And San Joaquin can't let it go. Well, I've got my own stuff I don't care about San Joaquin. All right. When most of what you do is use other people's videos to make yourself rich, when you use other people's videos, Dick and Roscoe Show, what's going on, Dick and Roscoe Show? When you're using other people's audits, and you're but I put their link in there. How many people go to that description and click on that link? Come on, seriously. Oh, well, I help out them small channels because I play their little. Dude, you're getting rich off of that, and maybe 5% of your views go check it out on the other page. How about if you do this, San Joaquin? How about if you do like we do here on NNE? You play two-thirds of the video. And then you say, if you want to see the rest of this video, here's the link. Click on the link and go watch the video where the video is made. Why don't you do that, San Joaquin? Just saying, brother. All right, just saying. Instead of making yourself rich off other people's work and saying, oh, well, I'm helping these guys out. I'm helping the, you're giving them what, three or 400, on a good day, 300 or 400 subs. But you're getting 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 views off their work, San Joaquin. Hell, I'll throw somebody 100 subs if they give me $5,000 in my pocket. It's say $5 or $6 per 1,000. I don't know what you're getting on your count with your hit count, say 5 or 6,000, and I don't know what the hell you're getting on your ad placement, but I bet you're pulling 10 grand on a video. I'll bet the videos you're playing for other people, you're getting paid 10 grand or more on some of these videos. Some of these videos, 300,000-400,000. Now, $5 per 1,000, times 500. Wow, it's a lot of money. But and that's not even counting the. All I'm saying, Sam Joaquin, is, dude, you've got 398,000 subs. He's got 376. Those of us who watched you a long time, I know what it is, brother. Forgive me. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get people to give people reason not to watch him and to watch you. You're trying to give reason for your subs not to go over to his channel and subscribe to him and boot him up. Because the last thing, you've been the top man. You've been the top dog. You were the biggest guy in town. But there's a guy right next to you now, brother. And this guy has done it with his own work. Sam Joaquin, he has done it with his own audits. He hasn't been using audits of other people. He hasn't been doing this on the back of other people. I made contact with Sam Joaquin about 2 weeks ago before I got arrested in Texas. I called him and help, and he told me to take a plea and get out of Texas. Yeah, yo, thanks, Sam Joaquin. Jesus, that's good advice. Dude, I'm so sorry. Yeah, God, I know in my own heart, I know what the problem is, Sam Joaquin. You've got another big dog coming up. And the way he does his audits, he's going to surpass you. He will be the first. He'll be the first one with 1 million audits. I mean, with 1 million subs, and he's going to be the first one with 500,000 subs, and you're afraid he's going to be the first one with 1 million subs, and you just don't want that to happen. You just do not want, because you don't want it to happen because he's doing it in his own friggin' audits. He's not out there sucking the views. This is what people don't realize. Every time someone goes and watches that video on your channel, they got no reason to go to that other channel and watch that video. They've already watched it. Who wants to watch the same video twice? I'm not gonna. If I watch it on your channel, I'm not gonna go to their channel. I might maybe go over there and click on subscribing, but that doesn't do them shit for their views. The money's made on views. The money's made on the click of that video. The money's not made because you gave them 300, 400 subs. If you give them 300 or 400 subs, you ain't giving them a view. They're still the ones doing the work that those people are going back and watching their videos. They're the ones, if you give them a sub, all right, they're the ones doing the work. They're the ones providing the content for those people to watch. So don't claim that, I helped out these small channels because I helped them grow. No, you didn't. See, it pisses me off when you say, I helped them grow. No, you didn't. You gave them a sub and their work helped them grow. All you did was give them a sub. But you made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of everybody's videos. I'll give you $1 if you give me $100, Sam Joaquin. Then hell shit, yeah. I'll do that all day long. Why not? So anyway, I start listening, and there's other guys on there. And they're saying the same thing. Oh, the letter that you wrote, I didn't. Here comes D. Johns. Let's just see if this is D. I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to put this up because I don't know if it's really you or not. So I just, me. I just need to make sure it's really you. Do. Hello. Is that you, D? That you?
Hello. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Making sure that it was really you. What's going on, D? Hello? You there? You must be muted. How about now? Let's try it again. How about now, D? Well, D seems to have some problems here. D, why don't you jump down and figure out what's going on with your mic and come back up. Okay? So, yeah, I learned something a long time ago. Sorry. Josh Abrams, okay? I'm not a huge fan of Josh Abrams. The guy's okay. I like the guy, all right, but I'm not a huge fan of Josh Abrams, all right? Because some of the stuff that he does, I don't agree. I don't like this whole PayPal thing with him. That's the way he makes money, but I don't like this whole PayPal thing with him and go. But there's one thing I learned from Josh, and that is, this is the 1A. Okay, constitution. My problem with what Long Island Auditors did was the video that the sheriff made, and it's that's fine. Constitutional order. Let's try D again. ID.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Yeah.
Oh well, I was just talking about.
I got internet problems going on.
Okay. But I just started talking about Josh. And I'm saying that there's one thing that Josh taught us all years ago. And that is, this is about constitutional rights. This is about the Constitution. Your fucking feelings don't matter shit when you're out there, when you're doing this. Your feelings are not mine. I don't care about your feelings. So when somebody like Sam Joaquin or some of these others that were on the show last night, oh, well, you hurt my feelings. I didn't like, get over it, Buttercup. You know what I mean? All right, so what you up to, D? I just wanted to say that before what's he up to?
Oh, nothing at all. Just same old shit.
Same old shit, just different day, huh?
On the internet too much anymore.
Oh, I haven't either. I've been trying to stay the hell off it. See, that's the problem when you've got a life. You're not on YouTube much.
Yeah.
I got a life.
Right.
This is a good point right here. Constitutional law says that San Joaquin Valley netted me 140 subs. All right, but what?
That's great.
That's good. Absolutely, that's great. But what I'm saying, constitutional auditor, is it's your content now that's going to get them people to come over to your group, over to your channel, and watch your videos. All right. All Sam Joaquin did is get you the sub. What's that? All Sam Joaquin did was get you the sub. It's you that's going to make the content. We get subs and lose subs all the time. So the getting of a sub is nothing. You could have, if Sam Joaquin has got 398 subs, why doesn't he get 398,000 views on every one of his videos? Why? Because not everybody gives a shit. They'll go there, watch a video, sub, and then some will never, ever go back again. They'll never go back to that channel again and watch a video. So because he got you 140 subs, constitutional auditor, doesn't mean he's going to get you views. It doesn't mean he's going to get anything for you. Your content is what's going to get you views from these subs. These 140 subs may never come back to you again if you don't give them good content. Journalist Red, the link is right there if you want to grab it. Come up. Constitutional auditor, the sub is right there. He has an audience.
Well, I want to say hi. There's Swedish Sugar and Six Banger and all. I'm going to say hi to them in your chat.
Say hi to everybody. Go ahead.
They're sweet and constitutional. Jessica, oh my God, Stevie Mayo.
I know. Tuna time even.
Oh, and Tuna.
Journalist Red.
Sorry, go ahead.
Look at this. Look at all these people in here. We got 26 people watching. So that's good. Jessica, Stevie. Thanks for reminding me. SW Observer. All you guys, the link is on the top of the chat. If you want to come up and argue with me and tell me I'm stupid, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, come up and say so. If you want to come up and agree with me, fine. If you just want to come up and do whatever, feel free to do so. Everybody is welcome. I sent a link to DeJohn's, even though DeJohn's and I have been fighting a lot and so forth. I sent a link just because I know she has thoughts on a lot of issues like that, and I thought, well, I'll give her the opportunity. Maybe she wants to give me a hard time about it. Maybe she wants to agree with me about it. Maybe she just wants to come up and say hi to everybody. But
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
You're roboting.
Hey, can everybody in the...
I can't.
Can everybody in the chat hear me? Put a 1 if you can hear me okay. Put a 2 if I'm roboting and you can't hear me. I'll be right back. Am I any better? Okay, I see some 1s here. Great. Thank you for the 1s. Blind advocate. Oh, good, great. Blind advocate. Good to see you in here, blind advocate. Four Corners Reports. I'm not saying that I don't like Sam Joaquin, because I like Sam Joaquin. I think he has done a lot for the community. But to say that he's helped all these small people grow, he got him a few subs, but it's you people. It's you content creators. If you're not doing your work, if you're not out there doing what we need to get done, doing what the people that sub wants to watch, that's not doing you any. It's not that sub doesn't do you any good. Like I said before, Sam Joaquin's got 398,000 subscribers. Yeah, right. Long Island's got 376,000 subscribers. If having having a sub meant it was a view, then they would have 376 and 398 views on every video. No, that doesn't happen. People don't come back and watch. I've had people tell me that, oh, Brian, I haven't been to your channel in at least a year. I've been here, 4 years, 5. I've been here a long time. I don't make my money here. That's why I'm not consistent. That's why I don't worry about growth. That's why I'm still a small channel, because I don't give a shit if I ever be a big channel, because I don't make my money here. I'm not even monetized. I don't make my money here. I make my money, long before this. Yes, I do. Yes, I do agree with Brian. I have subscribed to many channels. Yes. You're right, blind advocate. And I bet you go back to those channels and watch what they have to say. Watch what, not because Sam Joaquin told you should do it, but because they're providing good content. Yeah, they didn't do 1A anymore. I haven't been, but God, the urge. Now I'm feeling better. Now I'm getting along better. My heart, I don't know. I'm feel like I can get out more. Probably come warm weather, I may even start doing audits again. And if I do, I'll rip them up. I'm not the nicest guy. I mean, I am not a Long Island audit. I'll tell you that right now. I am not. I am not a Sean, because I'll tell you, if they fuck with me, I'll fuck with them back. I'm not the sweet guy. I'm not a nice guy. Yeah, I'm sure tuna time, and it's been crazy as a sumbitch, yeah. But that's kind of what I want to talk about was that, because it just irritated the hell out of me last night. 2 years ago that happened. 2 years ago, No, I haven't subscribed to many other channels. As it goes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just because he gave you a sub doesn't mean they stayed with you. You know, I just want I need people to realize that a sub isn't a view. A sub isn't a viewer. If that was the case, I mean, we'd all be rich. Or not me, because I'm not monetized, but yeah, all the monetized guys would be rich and so on. But like Josh said, to me years ago, he said, "Look," he said, "it's not about your feelings." Because I would get mad, and it was all about. And he'd say, "Look, Brian, it's not about your friggin' feelings." Yep, Brian is still a prick. Goddamn right, I'm still a prick. Josh said it's not about your feelings, Brian. It's about the 1A. And after a while, I said, "Understand it." Yeah, it was, but it still pisses me off when they hurt my feelings. So I fuck with them. But no, I mean, I'm trying to give them respect. Here we go. This is the thing about Sean. Sean gives respect. All right, and when they become disrespectful to Sean, he becomes disrespectful to them. Right? They give him shit, he's gonna give him shit right back, and that's the way I am, but a little higher. Twyla, hi Twyla, how you doing? Good to see Twyla. Twyla's always here. I love that when Twyla comes in. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. Is it what the hell has happened to the 1A? Yeah, Twyla, you always work. My God, woman, you are a workaholic. But I don't know what's happened to the 1A. We get a bunch of feelings people in here now. That we got a bunch of people that, oh my God, you've hurt my feelings 2 years ago and my feelings are still hurt. Really? Really? Somebody hurt your feelings 2 weeks ago and you're still hurt about it? God. Brian's only got, and then he's good at one thing, that's being a parent. I can admit I am pretty good at that. My daughter is doing good this year still. Hopefully, she's actually been approached by the Philippines because she is a Philippine national also because her mother is, and they've asked her if she's interested in representing them, going and moving to the Philippines and starting to train in the Philippines and representing them on their national team at the age of 16. So she'd have to go there and train, and then at 16 years old, she could become part of their team, which is kind of a thing to think about, I guess. It'd be kind of fun to go and represent some other little country, especially with a country like the Philippines. Because, the country of the Philippines really never did that much gymnastics before. So this is a new program for them. So if we did what they're asking us to do, we would be going in there and helping to grow a new program. So for my daughter, that's pretty exciting, for her to do that. So she's thinking very highly of that, depending on how, because she's got a few more years. She's only 11. She'll be turning 12 in a couple of days on the 15th. Her birthday's on the 15th. But yeah, so the committee contacted her, and so that. But the thing of it is that we'd have to go to Manila. I'm just not sure if I want to live in Manila. Manila, Philippines is hectic. It's like Boston on steroids. Nobody abides by any traffic laws and anything, and this traffic is all one. Oh, this everybody. It can be a 3-lane or a 5-lane, depends on what they feel like using it at. And yeah, because there's not many training places in the Philippines. And my daughter says, maybe she should stay in the Philippines and start training people. being a coach over there. So who knows? Who knows what we'll be doing? Be funny if all of a sudden Brian was broadcasting out of the Philippines. Here's NNE and the PH. NNE and the PH. NNE in the Philippines. Wouldn't that be funny? NNE. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people right now going, really? Really? Promise you're going to go? Really? Do you need anything? Do you need cash to go with? I'll bet you right now, if I said, look, I'm moving to the Philippines, that would be the easiest fundraiser I ever did, was asking people, give me money to move to the Philippines. I bet people would throw dollars left and right. Hey, see what's up?
I'm painting by numbers. The square root of -1 really pops.
Okay. Somebody, they wanted to do a poem, wanted to do a bad one, and I didn't let them. Some people just love to come up and say hi and then throw up some crap. Whoop. I want to go back to the comments. Upstate audits. What's going on, upstate audits? Now, if nobody comes up here pretty quick, I'm just going to shut it down and call it a day. I've been out plowing. I just got back in from plowing. We got about 4 or 5 inches of snow, and on top of that, we got a bunch of rain. So it's a bunch of wet friggin' snow out there. Thank God I got a good truck, and I've been out plowing today. Wet. I mean, you can almost wring the water out of it. When you push the snow away and you look, and there's a puddle of water in the track that you just got. No action here, but I'm trying. Maybe I just suck. What? No action here, but I'm trying. Maybe I just suck. Yeah, well, maybe we're not in the areas that you can get good action. I get good action here because they don't. The cops here have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Like Lewiston, Maine. I was in Lewiston, Maine. I wasn't filming. I wished I'd have filmed this. I didn't have my camera wasn't ready. My phone was half dead. It wasn't plugged in. I didn't have bad day. So I pull over. Cop pulls up behind me. He did not pull me over. Pulled me over. He asked me for my driver's license. And when he asked me for my driver's license, he says, "There's a problem with your license, with your blinker. When you pulled over, you didn't hit your blinker." Well, of course, when they say you didn't hit your blinker, it's your word against their word. Who's the judge going to believe it? So he had enough information. He had enough, I felt, to get my license. But I said to him, "I'm going to give you my license only because of the blinker infraction. But if it wasn't for the blinker infraction, or if I thought that the blinker wasn't working or something like that, I would not give you this license." And he says to me, "I don't care whether there's a blinker infraction or not. If I ask you for a license, you give it to me." Say what? Who the fuck? And this is exactly what I said. Say what? Who the fuck do you think you are? This is not a stop and ID state. I said, the Fourth Amendment says I have the right to keep my personal papers and stuff to myself. You don't need to know who the shit I am. Journalist Red. And he started to argue with me, and then I told him call a supervisor. And the next thing I know, that blinker infraction wasn't a big deal anymore. And he said, "I'm just going to give you a warning, and I got to get going. I want to call." And boom, away he went. So the real MF, Mrs. Potato. Mrs. Potato, is that really you? And then, I wonder if that's the real Mrs. Potato. Let's take a look. It is the real Mrs. Potato. Of course, she says, Mrs. Potato. Hello, Mrs. Potato. How's Furry Potato doing? I was watching one of Furry's lives the other day, and you know what? I'm still gray. I still don't have a wrench. I'm bummed. I even said, "Yep, still gray." The butt puncher. So have you guys moved to Canada yet? I know there was some talk that you were going to move to Canada. Have you moved to Canada yet? Because, I lived up in Canada for a while. I lived up in New Brunswick. And, Parlez-vous France, whatever the hell. She's out. Cousin Joe, I will be. You'll give me that. I know you will. I know you'll give it to me. I just keep going over there and picking on Furry, saying, I'm still gray. Because Furry promised me she would wrench me. And so every time I see I'm gray, I pick on Furry about it. So don't think I feel bad about not being wrenched over there. It's just, I love giving Furry a hard time. And that's one thing that I'm able to do so on. So, Mrs. Potato, it's good to see you. It's good to see you over here. Hopefully, I'm going to be starting to do some more lives like this and so forth. Feeling better. My heart's doing a little better. My lungs are doing a little better. I don't know if it's because of the medicines that they changed me on to or what it is, but ha ha ha! To you people who was hoping I was going to drop dead, I'm still here. Believe me, there's a mass hole report. Mass hole troll, mass hole. What the hell is that? Oh, mass hole. My God. What happened to all the old mass hole people? What did they do? All jump ship? All the people that used to be mass hole, yeah. I really like Canadians. Yeah, I lived in New Brunswick for 3.5 years. See, that's where I met my wife. If you look up in the corner, that's my wife and my daughter and me. That's where I met my wife, was up in Canada, up in New Brunswick. She was a private physical therapist for a quadriplegic. And I met her up there. I was on vacation and met her up there and went back up as often as I could. No, you ain't getting it. Sorry. No. AC wants to come up. Let's see if he comes up. Was that you earlier?
Yeah, that's me.
Was that you a little while ago?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, my mic wasn't working. I'm still sick, man. I still feel like shit.
Do me a favor, AC. Give me 3 fingers.
Yeah, I just did, man. I'm on camera.
Just give me 3 fingers, AC.
I'm on camera. What are you talking about?
No, I want to see 3 fingers. Just hold up 3 fingers.
I just gave you those.
Dude, I recognize your voice. Why are you even trying? Turn your camera on. Get that video off.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? It's
Oh
AC,
my
man.
God. Do you really think that I don't recognize your voice?
What, AC?
AC my ass. You don't even sound like AC. You're even doing a shitty job trying to be AC.
Oh, that actually made AC laugh. That was funny.
So what is Tonic doing?
Well, hold on. I want to know how I scammed anybody. You still hadn't told me that.
How you scammed people?
Yeah, you told people that I scammed people.
In my view, the way you pulled off that,
I didn't even pull off anything. I didn't ask for
you did a good job on scamming people. I've got to give you credit. You did a good job.
Where did I ask for money? Where did I ask for money, Brian?
Where did you ask for money? Every time I turned around, you're on asking for money.
Nope. You can't find a one of me asking for money. That's what's the best part about it.
The best part of it is that you had all your friends on there asking for the money. So you could just say,
Brian,
"Well,
you
asked
actually
for the
have
money."
begged. You actually have begged for money on this platform multiple times.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I never did.
Well, that's because you have your friends ask. You say, "Oh, go out there and ask for my own money," so I can say, "I don't ask." But you were scam. That was a scam. See, it's one thing to ask for money for
Not
a
even close
reason
to a scam,
that
man.
you are showing people this is what we're doing. But with you, it was I see it. I was on a roof in Florida in the middle of a hurricane. Blah blah blah. Bullshit.
People, gave money before that story even came out. You realize that, right?
Bullshit.
They did.
I don't care. Why didn't you tell them that it was a bullshit, that it was a lie, and give them their money back?
Why would I tell them it's a bullshit story when it's true?
It's not true. It was bullshit, and you should have
Prove
given
it's
them their
not.
money back.
Prove it's not. Prove it's not a real story. Then
You scammed. In my book,
prove it.
you
Prove that.
scammed
Prove that.
all
Prove
those
it.
poor people.
Because, for instance, I can prove that you had a pedophile on your panel and you knew he was a pedophile. You see, I can do that.
People,
You're a
you
pedo
could
supporter,
prove what?
Brian. You're a fucking pedo supporter, dude. You fucking support
I'm a pedo supporter.
Yeah, you do. You had a pedo on your panel.
I had a pedo on the panel for about 5 minutes until
No.
See,
You deleted that. I still had the footage on my channel. It was
well good. Play it, post it, do whatever you want with it.
It already is posted. You can go back and watch it. Do we need to go over it again? You knew of his history. You even told everybody you knew of his history. And you let him on anyway. You said, quote unquote, all I have to do is bring up someone controversial on my panel.
You hurt my feelings. You hurt my
No, this was recent, man. This was recent.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Doesn't it suck that you have to reach so fucking far to fucking grab something on someone?
No, Brian, that happened recently.
Doesn't it suck?
You let a pedophile on your panel, dude, and you talk to him like he's a normal human being.
You know what I like? I like because it's my being in because it's my my channel. I can just say, you know what? See you later, you fucking little scammer. That's the biggest scammer right now. My feeling is he's the biggest scammer right now out there. When a man can take hard-earned money from people saying that he spent so many hours on the roof, and he didn't spend any goddamn hours on a roof. He spent hours sitting in a friggin', I don't know. How can other people beg for someone if they were never asked to? How can other people beg for something when they were never asked? What are you talking about, Brian? How can other people beg for someone if they were never asked to? But he did beg for people. He asked all of his friends to go on there and ask everybody in all the channels, oh, give to this poor guy. He lost everything, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was all a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of bullshit. And besides, that's probably one of his other Hey Jeff, what's up?
Yeah, Brian.
What's happening, Jeff?
What are you up to?
Not much. What are you doing these days?
Keeping quiet. Got my own channel now.
Keeping quiet. What you doing that for?
Oh, it's easier to keep quiet than to make trouble.
I agree with that.
No, I've got my own YouTube channel now called Blind Advocate. So it's a disability platform.
Oh, really? So, yeah, definitely throw your link up here so people will be able to find you and so forth.
Oh, it's just type in Blind Advocate. It should be one of the first ones up.
Just so we can find it. Blind Advocate.
Yeah, I've only had half a dozen streams, so. But I was just listening to what you're saying about Sam Wakeem, and like I said, I was subscribed to a lot of channels, but I unsubscribed because it was just as easy to go to one channel than to a dozen.
Well, yeah, I mean, every time he gets in trouble and gets his channel taken down, he makes a new channel, and then he gets his channel back, and so he's got half a dozen channels here and there. But my biggest thing about San Joaquin is someone. Imagine if you had a Discord board and say you had people in it who cared about you. All of a sudden, something. Had a Discord. I don't have Discord. I don't like that stuff. Thank you. Mrs. Potato says I am modded now. That's good. She must have went back on an old one and modded me. So what type of when you say that it's the disability and so forth, what type of audits have you been doing? Are you doing audits, or are you just basically doing going out for awareness and so forth?
Been talking about here in Australia, we have the NDIS, which is a new program that provides support, like support workers and stuff like that for people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs it's about $28 billion a year, and it's not being run very well. There's a lot of problems with it. People who need supports aren't getting them. People who don't need supports, who shouldn't be on the NDIS, are getting a lot of money, and just things like that, calling people out on discrimination, things like that.
Yeah, we get the same thing here in the States. We have a lot of people who really are disabled. Maybe they have a small disability, but they're not disabled to the point of where they should be getting the not being able to work or what have you. And they pay a lot of attention to that, but they don't pay attention to the rights of the disability, of the disabled people. They don't pay attention to, if like for instance, I've seen blind justice going down, going down a sidewalk and getting hit by branches in his face, and just simple things like that of bringing awareness to a town, saying, hey, look, if this is hitting me in the face and so forth, this is a sin you need to be aware of and so forth. That sort of awareness is really good to bring out, but most of these places, they could care less about that. They could care less about entrances into. I notice now more than I used to of the entrances into buildings, because I don't walk as well as people do, and so I now notice that not a lot of these buildings have elevators, or they don't have wheelchair access and so forth.
Yeah, look, it's a huge problem, and it wasn't until up into the mid '80s where access for people with disabilities was really starting to be pushed forward. So we've come a long way, but we've still got a long way to go. I'm the first one to put my hand up, say something's wrong, but when you put your hand up and say, this person's done a really good job. Like for example, there's a huge franchise here in Australia called Bing Lee. It's like an electrical retailer. And I went in there just before Christmas, and the young girl who I was talking to spoke to me, not my support worker. She told me when she was walking away. She told me when she's coming back. So I thought, that was really good. So I rang up corporate, told them it was excellent service, and they weren't interested. So, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
And this is why, I'm I don't live in the US. The 1A, I'm a huge supporter of, because you got those rights, given, like, as you say, by God. protected by the Constitution, and it's being trod on. It's being walked over by the police and government every damn day, and people are just sitting back and saying and doing nothing. And like I posted a comment before, why are people suing the police? Because the police don't pay for it; the community does. So go to the police academies, sue them for not doing the appropriate training, get them to teach the Constitution.
I mean, a good example is the shutdown of the country. Basically, here in the state of Maine, you couldn't go out and go shopping, and I mean, go doing stuff that unless it was a necessity. You were stuck. Oh, 6 bag. Okay. You were stuck. You couldn't leave your house. You couldn't go out and drive. I mean, if that's about as unconstitutional as you can get. Oh, but the governor passed this. The governor doesn't have the right to do that. That's what a lot of us are saying is, look, the governor does not have the right to stop me from doing what I want to do, to get in front of my amendment, my constitutional rights. But everybody is, oh yeah, I can't go out. I can't go and drive. I can't leave my house. They accepted it. Each time you accept that, you trim a little bit off the edge of your rights. And each time you trim a little bit off the edge of your rights, they get their foot in a little bit further. The government, it's not the government's interest that we have rights. It's not in their interest that we have rights. To the government, they'd be better off if we didn't have rights. And they control us, and we do as they say, and not as our rights tell us we can do. And so obviously you can't expect the government to protect you and protect your rights. You have to know what your rights are. You have to go out there. We have to have people, like Sean, that goes out there from Long Island audits, that teaches people what their rights are. People say, well, I'm never going to want to, film inside of a town office. Why should I? You may want to. You may go in there and you may want to take your camera out to document something, and they'll tell you no, and you're going to put it away because you don't know any better. But if you've seen that video and you've seen that auditor challenge that rule, challenge that sign, and he won and they had to take the sign down, then you're going to know, wait a minute, maybe I can pull that camera out. Maybe I can document the code enforcement officer giving me a hard time because I didn't do this when I actually did. That's the sort of thing that we're protecting. People say, oh, well, I'm protecting your right. It's your right to be able to protect yourself. That's what we're protecting.
Absolutely. I listened to that Merb, that lawyer, and I left a comment saying they should end qualified immunity because it only protects those in power. It doesn't protect the people. If the police knew they could be personally sued, then they would not infringe on a person's rights.
Exactly. The problem there is that the police officers know they've got protection. So the police officer, as long as he doesn't know that what he's doing is wrong, or even if he doesn't admit what he's doing is wrong, put it that way, then he's free to do whatever he wants and so forth without repercussion because, his qualified immunity is going to get him his lawyer. But the difference is that when we go in there and we say, you don't have the right to do this, you don't have the right to stop me, and we say why they don't have the rights. And even if we decide, okay, we're going to walk away from it, at least the next person going in knows, wait a minute, that auditor said that I have the right to do this, that the cop can't do this and so forth. I've had so many people say to me, why do I give a shit about some auditor who wants to stand there with a camera while somebody's in a traffic stop? Why do I give a shit about that? Why? Because you may be following your friend to the store and your friend may be getting stopped and you might want to get out of your car and take your camera and film what you think is being done wrong. That auditor is protecting that right for you. It's not that we think, oh, well, you may want to go out and audit someday. No, you might be following your little brother to the store someday, and your little brother gets pulled over, and they start harassing him and beating on him, and you want to be able to stand there and document it without the cops making you go a half a mile away. That's what these audits do. That's what these audits are about.
So there's also a thing called, and it's not talked about very much, and I've spoken about it in my activism, it is a financial discrimination, because the police and governments have a bucket of money that never ends. The police can arrest someone because they upset them. The police get butthurt. That person's got to go to court. It's got to pay for a lawyer, take time off work, possibly lose their job. So when that happens, people are struggling to put food in their mouths, to keep a roof over their head. They can't afford lawyers. They can't afford time off work. And the police know this, and that's why they do what they do.
Right, exactly. I've been saying that for years. Cop knows and it pisses me off every time I say this because of what they do. The cop knows they can break your rights if they want, because what are you going to do about it? If you take it to the chief's not going to do anything. Oh, we're going to give him a reprimand. That reprimand goes in his file. 6 months later, it disappears. You can go to the selectmen or the city board or whatever you want. They're not going to give it a sweet damn because they're protecting their police officers. And they know that you don't have money enough to take it to court and to hire a lawyer. These lawyers are getting $4,000 or $5,000 of an hour. I went and talked to a lawyer about doing a civil rights case for me, and he said, I need $30,000 up front. What? $30,000? Yeah, he said, I need $30,000 because I don't know whether this will go or not. He said, I need $30,000 up front. Small town. If you live in a small town and that cop that you want to sue, and every lawyer in town is a relative, a cousin, a stepbrother, are related in some way, good luck finding a lawyer. Good luck. They know they know they've got their lawyer. It's called qualified immunity. Their lawyer's guaranteed to them. So as long as the cops have qualified immunity, they will be one step above you. As long as you allow them to have qualified immunity and have that free defense, and you can't afford that defense, you cannot tell me you've allowed them to be a step above.
Well, you look at the police, they have qualified immunity. They're allowed to lie to you under the Supreme Court ruling. The police can lie. You can't lie to the police. They can detain you and put you in handcuffs because they feel threatened. So, and I say, it's like a fireman going through the academy and training to be a firefighter, passes his course, gets put into a position where he's got to go fight a fire, and turns around and says, oh, no, I don't want to do this because I could get burned. Well, that's the career you chose.
Yeah.
You can't have qualified immunity. Yeah, the cops shouldn't be allowed to lie. If you're not allowed to lie to a cop, the cop shouldn't be allowed to lie to you. It should be an equal footing.
We don't have an equal playing field with the police departments, or the detectives and so forth. They're allowed to lie to you also. They're allowed to fabricate. They're allowed to go into interrogation room for you and say, "Look, we have evidence that puts you there." Lie to you and say that there's actual evidence that put you on the scene, and they're and if you don't confess to this, then we're gonna charge you with this instead of this. There you go, right there. You what do you do?
That's
most
blackmail.
people will go, yeah,
that's blackmail. Either you do this or we do that. That's blackmail. That's pushing people into making a choice where I can't afford a lawyer. I get a public defender who's overworked and underpaid and probably not really interested, and they say take the plea deal, and it's easier for everyone to take the plea deal even though they're innocent, and they're scared of going to a court because it's going to cost a lot of money, it's going to cost a lot of time. It's just such an unbalanced system. And I've always said the US was lucky to have those Bill of Rights, those amendments like the first, second, fourth, fifth amendments. We don't have the problems here in Australia. We do have problems here in Australia, but not to the extent the US does.
To me, two of our biggest rights, and this is what my view, but other people may have different views, is the Fourth and Fifth Amendment. And that is the right for me to maintain I can't say the goddamn word now, maintain my papers and not have to allow you to know, information about me. And second, the Fifth Amendment, because I'm allowed to shut my mouth, not say a damn word to you. And if I want a lawyer, I don't have to say a damn word until I get a lawyer. And if I can't afford one will be provided to me. That's those two right there, to me, are the best that we've got as far as protection and so forth. And I wish I could get more people to understand that when they're speaking to a police officer, that police officer is not there to try to find your innocence. He's not there looking for your innocence. Okay. He's not there to find your innocence. He's there to find your guilt. So don't think he's there to get you off. He's here to charge you with something. So when they start talking to you, shut your damn mouth, people.
Yeah.
Do not talk to the police.
And this thing of police safety, everyone should be safe, not just the police.
Oh my God, I get so mad when I hear that.
Yeah, like I was watching a video a couple of weeks ago, a bloke was sitting in his car and he said, "Oh look, I'll just let you know I've got a pistol or a handgun in the glove box," and he said, "I'm just going to reach from my registration," and he reached over and the cop turned around and shot him.
Yeah. I always have a weapon on me. I mean, I've got weapons within arm's length at all times. People give me a hard time because I do. If I want a handgun, I can reach over right now and grab a handgun. If I want a rifle, I can reach over right now and grab a rifle. If you want a knife, but I never leave home without it. And that is because the police do not protect us.
No.
The courts have now said it's not the police officer's job to protect you. The old line of serve and protect, they always used to have that on the bottom of their cars. To serve and protect. That's gone. They've removed that. And so it's not their job to make sure you're okay. It's my job to protect me and my family. It's my job to make sure that we're safe. So if I'm out in the middle of East Bumfuck Egypt somewhere, and I don't know the people around me, and I want to make sure, I'm handicapped. I can't jump up and freaking knock people out, knock people down like I used to. But you know what? I can reach and grab my handgun and put a bullet in them if I have to. And that's my protection now. And thank God we've got a Second Amendment that allows me to do so.
Well, there was a case in America, it's early 22. There's an Australian woman, made national news over here in Australia. An Australian woman living in the US thought she heard a woman screaming in the alley behind her house. So she called the police, and she seen the police out there. So she walked out to talk to them, and officers turned around and shot her. Didn't say, just turned around and shot her. He went for qualified immunity. He lost that, and he's been charged with second-degree murder. I don't know if he's had his court case yet or not, but those sorts of things, they just shouldn't happen. But look, I have, every time I go out, there's direct and indirect discrimination, and when that happens to you all the time, you look at these things and you see on YouTube with the 1A, and you sit there shaking your head. Now, why aren't these people standing up for their rights? I was just watching one half an hour ago where women were being strip searched and cavity searched in public, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And I think it was in Carolina or one of the South Carolina or North Carolina, something like that. They exposed their breasts in front of the public, in front of the male officers. The woman stuck her hand in the woman's pants, front and back. It's terrible.
Yeah. And another issue that really bothers me is the hands in pockets. If you're standing in front of a cop, if you put your hands in your pockets, they're going to tell you, get your hands out of your pockets for officer safety.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you that myself and Josh Abrams were doing an audit, and I think it was Boston. We were in Boston. And we were doing this audit where these people, a couple of guys had gotten killed, and there were some people there that were honoring them and so forth. They had candles up, and the cops had the road shut right down. And this cop is standing in the middle of everything with his hands in his pockets. And I jokingly said, "Hey, take your hands out of your pockets for public safety." And you would have thought that I would have freaking called his mother a bitch or something. You could see the look in his face. If he could have pulled a gun out and shot me, he'd have pulled a freaking gun out and shot me. But you know what? He stood there with his hands in his freaking pockets the whole time. Now, I've been stopped before and been outside and had my hands in my jacket pocket, and had the cop tell me, "Take your hands out of your pockets." I told him, "No, my hands are cold. I'm leaving them in my goddamn pockets." And they get mad. They try to force me to take my hand out of my pockets. But you want to turn me around, put the handcuffs on, go ahead. But as long as my fucking hands are cold, they're staying in my pockets. You want to feel my pockets and see that there's no weapon in there? I'll give you the right, but you're not going to tell me I can't put my hands in my pockets when I'm cold.
Yeah, and this thing you see where coppers say, "Sit," like you're a dog. Sit.
Fuck you. You sit down.
Lay down. Yeah, I'm not your dog. You piss off. I wouldn't do it.
Hi, Gloria. Ed. Gloria's in the chat. Nice to see you, Gloria. Yeah, that pisses me off. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like people to direct, me like they think that they're above me. Unless you've got the handcuffs on me, you ain't telling me shit, motherfucker. And that's usually what I tell them. Hey, Rose Rosalind BH from Philippines. That's Rosalind from the Philippines is in the house. Say hi to Rose, everybody. She's got a channel over there. She does Philippine province, living in the province. So if anybody's ever curious about what it's like living in the province of the Philippines, she's living up on the mountains. Go check out her channel. Sub to her channel. Watch some of her stuff and so forth. She got some really nice stuff. I helped her out. I got her up to 1,000 subs. So please, if you get a chance, go over there and watch a couple of her videos and give her some watch hours. She's trying to get those watch hours. She's got the 1,000 subs. Those watch hours come hard. So if you get a chance, run on over, subscribe to her channel, and hit the play and check it out. Some really good stuff. She's starting to do cooking videos now too. So if you're interested in certain dishes, like if you're Stevie Mayo and you want to know a new recipe for something, and just tell her what video you want, and maybe she'll do a video for you. I'm sorry, I just had to say hello to her.
Yeah, that's your channel. You just do what you want.
Well, she's a good friend. She's out there in the Philippines. She lives on like $65 a month. Now I don't know how she does it, but she lives on $65 a month income. A lot of her food she gets from from foraging. She has enough money to get like a bag of rice, and she lives off that rice and whatever she can put with that rice. One time, one of her videos is her going out in the back, and going after water spinach and cutting water spinach, bringing it back and cleaning it and getting it all prepared and then cooking it. And I thought it was a hell of a nice video. I mean, I loved it. You don't see a lot of that anymore. Especially, I'm curious of how other people live. I mean, I'm sure you are too, Jeff. Curious of how do people live that aren't as fortunate as we are? How do they survive? They're, not as fortunate as we are and so forth.
Yeah, my uncle had a co-worker who was Cambodian. His father was killed by Pol Pot regime, and him and his mother went to a concentration camp, and she ended up being starved to death. And he ran away, ended up in Thailand in a refugee camp. When he got to Australia, all he had was a T-shirt, pair of shorts, and flip-flops. No money to his name, no nothing. When he died, he owned his own home. He had two daughters. One's a lawyer, and the other one's a doctor. So look where he come from, and look what he made from hard work. And
it's people always say, well, these people don't get rich unless they've got it handed down to them. That's not the case. A lot of people make it; they earn it. Those people looking for her link, that's her link. Go to her channel. Tell her Brian sent you, or tell her right now you're going over there. And Rose, tell Rose what type of dishes you'd like to see done. And of course, understand, people, Rose lives on $65 a month. So if you ask her to cook a T-bone steak, it's not going to happen, because T-bone, as we all know, T-bone steaks could be half of her income. But if you ask her, how do you, go out back and cut something out of the forest, and how do you make a meal out of just what you can walk around and find in the forest? You ask her something like that, she could probably do a heck of a video. I asked her to do a video, and I knew it was going to cost her the money, and I sent her $20. To you and I, $20 ain't a lot of money, but to her, $20 is a lot of money. I sent her $20 so that she'd have the money to do the video and to buy stuff and stuff. That is, so if you're looking for a certain type of video, throw her $20 through a PayPal and give her the chance to do that.
Yeah, well, if you haven't got $20, $20 is a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I think we're lucky we live in countries where, here, especially here in Australia, we have a good safety net that helps people, but there's still a lot of people that fall between the cracks, which is unfortunate.
Hey, Rosalind, if you want to put your PayPal in the thing here, go ahead. I know what she's going to say. Can you do it for me? Because I don't know how. She doesn't know how to do all this stuff. She's new. So a lot of the stuff I do for her because she doesn't know how to do it. But she's such a good person, good-hearted person. And she's a single mother. She's got a little 2-year-old baby. And so maybe, I don't know. Maybe I feel bad for the baby or whatever. Okay,
Are you subscribed to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel?
Oh, I like that guy.
He's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like him. He's really okay. I think this is it, Rose. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Forgive me, people. I'm trying to grab her PayPal.
Oh, Brian's doing that. Go to my channel and subscribe to mine. I need a lot of help.
What's that now?
I'm just telling everyone to go to my channel and subscribe because I need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We all need a lot of help.
You know, it's probably been going for 6 months. But yeah, I've only got about 20 subs, I think, if that.
Now, I think that's... Whoops. Can I edit that? No, I can't. Bang it. It's PayPal.me. I don't know why it knocked out that friggin'. I'm going to put a space so it won't knock it out this time. No, take the space out. PayPal.me. That should be it. I'll go check, see if it is.
Well, while I've got a few seconds, if there's anybody in chat who has a disability or knows someone with a disability, get them to send me an email at blindadvocate007@gmail.com so I can do an interview. I'd be interested to talk to someone in the US about the differences between the countries.
Yeah, definitely. Go over to his channel, subscribe, and if you've got, like he says, if you've got a disability and you're interested in being interviewed, take the opportunity. Why not?
Absolutely. I spoke to one guy in Canada. He's got his own channel, Blind Man Walking. Really nice guy. He talks a lot about his guide dog and what it's like to be blind. So he's a nice bloke to talk to. He was really good. But yeah, I'd be just interested to see the cultural differences between our two countries, about people with disabilities and their rights and experiences.
Yeah.
Because there's one thing that the Americans do that here in Australia we just don't do, and that's to use the word retard, and you call somebody a retard. That's so offensive here in Australia. I hate it, actually. It's not. I have friends with intellectual disabilities, mild to severe, and they're super nice people, and to use the word retard in a derogatory way belittles them as people. It's not very nice.
Yeah, Gloria, that would be great. Gloria says, let me put this up there so people can. Gloria is a 16-year-old little herself, so she knows what it's like to be a single mother. it's hard here in the States or whatever state you're in. It's hard, but you've just got to imagine being in a third world country. I say this because I've been there. I've spent a lot of time in the Philippines. I spent a lot of time in Central America, so I see what they go through. You've got to imagine being in a household and knowing that you've only got maybe enough money for a bag of rice, and that bag of rice is going to last you and the child for a month, and maybe a couple of chickens, and that's all you're going to have is that, and the rest of it you're going to have to go out in the forest and go find food in the forest. This is what this lady does. I wish she could. For some reason, she's not able to come up on the panel. That's how she survives. It's not. And where she lives in the mountain, there's no work. There's no work where she could just go, oh, I'm going to go next door and get a job. There's no jobs. There's no work. Maybe there's somebody that's got a little more money than you do that needs some laundry done. Well, that's what she does. She maybe does somebody's laundry or maybe does something, and that's the income that she gets, that 65 average a month. That's what she's doing. She's earning money that way. If you're in the Philippines, there's no guaranteed income. In other words, there's no program that's going to make sure you eat. There's no program that's going to make sure your child gets food tonight. Many times I've seen people go to bed without food in their belly. And I've gone the next day and gotten, bought them stuff. You need to go to one of these countries, people. You need to go there and experience one time to see a baby cry from real hunger. All right? To see a baby cry that didn't eat, not today, but didn't eat yesterday or today. Anything but rice water, what they call yum. When they cook their rice, before the rice, is done, you take the water from the top of the rice. You take that water, and that's what they feed babies. When they don't have money for milk, they give them that. It's called yum. And babies will survive off the yum. They can't eat the rice, but they can drink the yum. And that's what they do. I can sit here and try to tell you what it's like. But if you go to Rose's channel, Rosalind's channel, she can show you what it's like to live in a province. She can show you what it's like to live in a third world country, to where you go out and maybe you get mangoes today. Maybe mangoes are in season, or maybe the coconuts. Maybe you've got coconuts come in season twice a year. Or bananas. When you're living there the way she lives, you just can't say, oh, well, I think I'll have. No, you can't say, I think I'll have. For one thing, you don't have a refrigerator. There's no refrigeration. Most of these places don't have power. And if they do, they have so much little power, they've got lights and that's about it. And most of them can't afford a refrigerator. So there's no refrigeration. So it's not, well, we'll have leftovers. Well, unless that leftovers will keep on the stove, you're not going to have leftovers. And if you were lucky, and I don't think you probably were lucky enough to have enough food that you had leftovers. You were probably lucky enough to have enough food to feed the family. And probably Mama and Papa probably didn't eat as much as they wanted to, because they knew some other kid had to get some. It's a different life over there. And if you want to see what that life is like, go to Rose's channel. She'll show you. Ask right, maybe she'll tell you. And she's building her house. Rosalind is building a house. Can you imagine trying to build a house when you've got $65, $70 a month and you're trying to feed a family and you're trying to build a house? You know, I sent her $100 to buy blocks with. Some other people, which I won't say their names from my channel, sent her a little buck, sent her something. Everybody knows KY Packer fan has got KY Packer fan. I swear, has got a heart this fucking big. His heart is this fucking big. He sent her 5,000 peso. That's a lot of money. Her baby was sick. Her baby had a temperature. We see the baby on live. We could see the baby was sweating. We could see the baby, and he gave her $100. Said, go take the baby and get some medicine. She took the baby, got some medicine. Now the baby's better. Baby's all right now. Imagine, people. Your baby is sick. Your baby has got a temperature. And this is in a country where babies die from fevers, okay? The biggest reason for death in the Philippines is temperatures and sicknesses where they puke and they go have diarrhea and they become dehydrated and they die. That's the biggest thing that kills babies in the provinces in the Philippines. And imagine you've got a baby that's sick and the baby won't eat and you're scared shitless that you're next, your baby's next. But you can't afford medicine. And then a guy like KY comes along and gives you $100. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say how much it was. Gives him money, and she goes in. I mean, KY may have saved that baby's life. Can you imagine saving somebody's life for $100? Good Lord, $100 saved somebody's life. He may have saved that baby's life for $100. $100. I have gone out to dinner with my wife and spent more than $100. I've gone out to a fancy restaurant before and spent a hell of a lot more than $100. Go to the bar. Go drink at the bar. How many of you have left with a bar tab for less than $30, $40? If you run a tab, $30, $40, $50, it's nothing. It's nothing to us to go to a bar or go to a restaurant or go buy some goodies at the store. But the next time you buy goodies at the store or you go to a restaurant and you tip the waitress really big money because she did a good job, just remember there are people like Rosalind that are out there that could use a few dollars. Just remember those people too. Remember I agree, remember your waitress, but remember the people like Rosalind that could use a $10, could use $20. Hell, she could finish her house up with a couple $100. Well, no, I'm sorry, not finish it up. Her house is not even closed in yet. For $200 or $300, she could close in her house, but she doesn't have it. She doesn't have $200 or $300 to close in her house. When there's so many of us, and there's so many of us who can't also, when there's so many of us that, spend money crazily, we have people like that in the world that die because they didn't get medicine. It's crazy people. I'm sorry, I went off on a rant. Sometimes I go off when something's really close to my heart. I tend to go off on a rant about it, and making sure people are fed. I'm not asking you to give Rose money for her to go out and Rosalind money for her to go out and buy a bottle of beer. Give her money to feed her kid. Give her $10 to go out and get a couple of chicken. Not asking for a lot. And she is a beautiful woman. Go check her channel out. She is a beautiful woman who has a beautiful baby, who lives in a beautiful place. Go check her videos out and look at the view that she has. Go look at the view. She's in the mountains. Go look at the lushness of the vegetation and so forth. Thank God it is, because that's what she eats. Hard to believe. Jeff Parker, it's so great to have you back around. You and I were having some problems there for a while. You had, and we resolved that. And it was my fault. It was not your fault. It was 100% my fault, and I admitted to it and so forth. And it's great to have you back. I always thought the world of you. I thought that you were the type of man that wanted to help people, wanted to help people with disabilities, and I'm glad that there's people. Without people like you, even if you're just bringing the awareness, even if you're not lending a hand, but you're lending awareness, you're making a difference in someone's life. If all you're providing is awareness that this is happening, you're making a difference in someone's life. And to any man who is able to make a difference in someone's life just by showing what's happening, we've got to hats off to them, because there are so many of us that'll just sit back and watch and let it go by.
Well, I've always said, Brian, that if we don't work hard to make things better for the next generation, then we failed as parents.
Oh God, Jeff, my father was, I don't, my father's dead, so I'm not going to say too much because he's not here to defend himself. But my father believed in spare the rod, spoil the child. My father believed in the boys worked. The boys did chores. My father was disabled, was not able to work. The boys went up on the mountain, and because we lived in the countryside. Maybe that's why I'm so close to Rose, is because I can relate. That we went up in the woods and shot a deer and brought a deer back. And I was a trapper at the age of 10, and I trapped everything you can imagine, and that's how we made extra money. But my father instilled on us, that there are things you do and things you don't do. And, so long as people treat me right, I will treat them right. I will lend respect to those who lend respect to me. I should say it this way. I'll give everybody respect until they disrespect me. Then I will disrespect the hell out of them. I should say it that way.
So I've always got along with you. I try and get along with everyone. I don't care if you treat me fair. That's great. But I've never had a problem with you. I've never had a problem with Josh. Don't agree with some of the stuff he's done in the past, but he seems to have changed his ways, which is great. Good on him. I try and get along with everyone. So, there's a few people I sort of don't have much respect for, but, that's just because we have a difference of opinion. Doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means I don't agree with them.
Yeah. I'm trying to send a link to Rose. Rose, if you're still in there, I'm going to try to send you a link for this so that you can come up on panel. I know you've tried it a couple of times, but you just try it one more time, Rose, just so that you can come up and say hi. Try this link. Try coming up. Just follow the directions. Hopefully you'll be able to come up. Whoops, I was going to send that to you. I'm sorry.
My old man, he was a chronic alcoholic, drank, and there's times that not just my family, we didn't have for days because he drank the money.
Yeah.
We got beaten constantly, like 2 or 3 times a week for decades. when he died, it was the best thing that ever happened. It was just a mongrel bastard of a person. That's why I don't drink very much. I give my kids their space. Try to make things a little easier for them, but if you haven't experienced poverty and hunger, you can't explain it to someone who hasn't experienced it.
And I guess I get a kick out of it when people say, "Oh, I've experienced poverty like that. I've been poor." Oh God, I lived on the street. I was homeless for a while. Straightened myself out. Got back in the roll of things. And even then, I was nowhere near like what people like Rose are, day after day after day, year after year, decade after decade. Because I knew that there were programs that I could go and get food. I knew that there were, soup kitchens I could go and I could get a soup and a sandwich. I knew that there was places like the Y that I could go and get a bed. So yeah, I was on the street, but it wasn't that bad. These people who are able to tent in the middle of New York City in these places and so forth. Try doing that in the Philippines and see what's going to happen to you. They're going to come burn your tent down with you in it. That ain't happening in the Philippines. But it's not like it is here. People, why don't they stay in their own country? They would love to. They would love. People like Rose would love to be able to make a career in the YouTube creator, to be a YouTube creator and be able to say that she's doing it on her own and you don't have to help her out. But until she's able to build up the viewership and the subscribers and that sort of stuff, she needs a little help every now and then. And I just hope that my subscribers will see their way to, go and watch her videos and so forth. And, if you're able to give her, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you can give her. She's not asking for a lot. She's just asking for a little help. Help her with give her $20 for her house. $20, she can pay somebody to work on the house for a week. It's so cheap in the Philippines. $5, $6, $7, $8 a day is all they get. So, $20, she can get someone to help carry blocks for a week. $20 will pay her builder for 3 or 4 days to go there and stack block and put the roof on and close up her house. So little stuff like that.
Yeah, we certainly are lucky to live in the countries that we live in. It just depends on where you're born.
You're exactly right there, Jeff. We were lucky that we were born in countries that take care of their people. And it's only by the roll of the dice. It's where your old man shot his sperm. He could have done it over in the 7 seas, during World War, whatever the hell. And you could be over there, but you were lucky. He shot it at home, not over in Vietnam somewhere,
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're saying, in third world countries that sometimes they're barely surviving, and something that happened, like a husband will die or a wife will die, and that puts them so far behind the 8 ball that they're scratching around the dirt looking for anything to feed, to eat. It's not an easy life. I have never experienced it to the extent that I have, but I have empathy for them.
A lot of what is going on in the Philippines is they call it renting land, lease land. They farm on lease land. basically what that is they call it 2-for-1, where for every bag of whatever you're growing, for every 2 bags, they're going to give the landowner 1. So if they're growing corn, they're going to get 2 bags. The landowner's get 1. If they're doing coconuts, and the landowner's going to get 1 to there too. And that's how they pay for it, because obviously they don't have any money, so they pay it with stuff like that. But the problem is, at some point in time, that landowner says, you know what, I want to sell my land. And sometimes doesn't even tell them, just sells it, and they find out later on. Well, guess what? And then all of a sudden, they're kicked off that land. Well, if they've planted coconut, and coconut twice a year, you have a product twice a year. Sorry for now, Brian, I can't come up to the stage. I'm not feeling well. I hear fever. She's got a fever and tonsillitis. Well, I think that's probably, she probably caught something from her daughter because her daughter was sick just a few days ago. So now she has a fever and tonsillitis. That's not good. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying now. Probably not that important then, right?
Well, it's a form of tax. It's barter system now. I'll let you farm my land so long as I get 2/3 of the product. Yeah. And that's what happened in the UK with the land was owned by royalty, and they leased the land back to the farmers to farm, and they got, I don't know, like 1/3 of the crop, plus they had to pay rent. So, that's where that song "Baba Black Sheep" come from. It was a protest song.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I was talking about, the way they were. I've got another friend. She's got a channel also, Filipina M. You look up Filipina M and you'll find her. And her parents, they live on, I don't know if it's leased land or what, but they're just farmers. And her father is able to farm enough product and so forth that they take it to the market and they sell that. And that's what the parents make. Now she's built up a subscribership of almost 7,000 people. So she's now able to make an income out of her YouTube page. And she, that's, I'll put her link in too. She's able to get, an income out of her YouTube page and so forth. Let's see if we can find her real quick. Yeah.
Now, a lot of time, those farmers aren't there by choice; they're there by necessity, and they have to do what the landowner says. So, that's an extra hardship.
Yep. The link that I just put up there. This is another girl. She lives in the province. She has already built up a good channel. So she's getting an income off from her channel. She is, this is what basically Rosalind is trying to do. Is if you go to this girl's channel, that's what Rosalind is trying to do, is to build a channel up where she can make enough money off of her channel to feed herself and her baby. So if you go and subscribe to Rosalind's channel, that's what you're helping, is for her to build a channel to where she can feed her baby without people helping out. So if you want to help somebody, go, and all you've got to do is click on sub and watch her watch her videos every now and then, which are great videos. She's new, she's learning. I mean, you can give her some suggestions and stuff. Yeah, and pray for Rosalind that she feels better. Anytime you hear someone have a fever in the Philippines, it's scary. It's not like it is here where, just go and get medicine. Now she's got to figure out how to get money to get medicine. So now, hopefully somebody like Gloria has given her some money that she'll be able to go and get medicine for herself now. But hopefully she's able to get the medicine and get better. Her daughter was feeling really sick, so probably she caught something from her daughter. See, that's the problem with these third world countries. Stuff runs rampant in a community, and it just goes throughout. The whole community gets it, and so forth. The whole village gets it. But okay, everybody, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. I don't even know what the hell I've talked about for 2 hours. Heck, I haven't had one of these for 2 hours. I might have had one the other day, I think, but I bet this ain't the third one in a year that I've had. I bet for 2 hours, almost 2 hours. So. Jeff Parker, it was great having you up, my friend.
It's been a while.
And I do consider you a friend. So when I say my friend, I'm not speaking for you. It's I do consider you a friend. I've known you long enough and know enough about you that I consider you a friend. And I wish you luck with your page. And hopefully people have gone to Blind Advocate. And let's see if we can throw that one up too.
So if anyone's out there listening who has a disability or knows someone with a disability, contact me. I'd like to talk to you, do an interview, especially about the differences between the two countries and disability rights and services.
Gary, I think I got you. Blind Advocate 6430, is that you?
No. It's Blind Advocate. I've done interviews with a girl with MS and a friend of mine who's in a wheelchair.
Well, how many subs do you have right now?
Less than 20.
Okay, 18. Yeah, this is you then. Okay, I'm going to subscribe. I thought it looked like you, but it's a side profile. So I was like, wow, I think that. And then I see it, someone and said Steve. So
yeah, Steve's a good mate of mine. He helped me when I first got sick and came back to where I live. Without him, life would have been much harder. He's been a really good friend.
Thank you, Gloria, and I appreciate you. Brian, be safe. Love you much. Thank you for having a big heart and Roku PayPal down soon. Yep. Don't break yourself though. Make sure you can afford whatever you send. Never send anybody more than you can afford because you need it yourself. But if you've got $10, throw $10. If you've got $5, throw $5. Anything's going to help her get a meal for her kids, for her daughter, which is a sweet little girl. Check out some of those. I think the last live I was on, I made her get the little girl because I wanted to see her because she's such a sweet little thing. Okay, everybody. Thank you, Jeff Packer, for coming up. Thank you very much, Gloria, for being in there. Rosalind Vlog. Make sure you all go to Rosalind Vlog. I also put the link for the Blind Advocate. Did I? No, I just put Blind Advocate. I thought I did the link.
Oh, that's right. Do it next time.
No, I want to put it. I want to get you some subs. And any of my subscribers that are moderators, if you get a chance, throw Blind Advocate's link in some of the other channels that you're at. What Jeff is doing is important, and what Jeff is doing is what Jeff does makes difference in people's lives.
I'll just say one thing, Brian. Like, it just takes one accident or one illness, and then you are exactly where I'm at. You look at Christina Applegate. She had double mastectomy because she had breast cancer. She had her ovaries and fallopian tubes removed because she was susceptible to fallopian cancer. and she was contracted MS about 18 months ago, and has to use a wheelchair and a walking stick to get around. So it can happen to anyone. Michael J. Fox, Ashton Kutcher.
Well, I got to tell you, to give an example of what he's saying, I got pneumonia 4 or 5 years ago. I got pneumonia. The doctors said that it wasn't pneumonia, that it was just the flu. Misdiagnosed. 3 days later, I was in the hospital with a severe case of pneumonia, both lungs. I got into the hospital. They admitted me. The following day, the pneumonia had went sepsis and had gone into my heart because it was already in my lungs and started going throughout my organs. I was supposed to die that day, but I didn't. But what it did do is it left damage in my heart and a lot of damage in my lungs. And that's something simple as that can change your life. I never had a problem with my heart. I always had a strong heart. Heck, I used to up the side of the mountain. Remember I told you my father used to send us kids up on the mountain. I'd come down off the mountain with a deer over both shoulders. I didn't have to worry about getting shot because we didn't worry about deer season, hunting season. We were hunting for food to live on. We didn't worry about deer season. If it was summer, you'd go up. You come down off the woods with deer on my freaking back. I was in good shape. And then that happened and it changed my life. And then I fell and broke my back. And that's why you see me when I can't walk. One is because if I walk very far, I can't breathe. And two, if I walk very far, because I've had 3 spinal surgeries. Yes, spinal surgeries. Because I've had 3 spinal surgeries, I'm in such pain that I can't stand the pain and I have to sit down because the pain's so severe. So just simple things can strike you. Simple things can strike you even no matter how strong you are. So Jeff's right. He's completely right.
There's between 54 and 61 million people in the US with a disability. And when you consider there's like just over 330 million people, that's a lot of people in the US with a disability. And it can happen at any time. You don't have to be born with it. It can happen any time during your life.
And there's not a lot of advocates out there, other than the paid ones, that are out there pushing and helping the disabled veteran, the disabled, just regular individual. They're far and few in between. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
And good seeing you. I want to run through here. Who else is in here? Bell Admin, thanks for coming in, Bell. Rosalind, Grab, thank you very, very much. Gloria Ad, I love that woman. She's one of the best, one of the nicest people that's come into my chat here. Steve Mayo, good man. Mrs. Potato, love that woman. She's so nice. Her and Furry Potato both are great people in my book. Some people say no, but in my book, they're great people. What they've done for me, at least. Six Banger, Upstate New York, Tuna Time, Blind Advocate. Who else we got in the air? Journalist Red, Tuna Time. Twyla came in for a little bit. She was working. Twyla always comes in, but she's always working. She's got to be a workaholic. Four Corners Report came in. Thank you, Four Corners Report. SWE Observer. CFAKA, whatever that is. Don't mean to be disrespectful on that. Just don't know who you are. Constitutional Auditor. Sweet Sugar. I love Sweet. She's one of the nicest ladies, but don't piss her off. Piss her off. You're gonna see a tiger. That's what I like about her. Jessica Stone. Jessica was in the house. I miss Jessica. I saw her, but got talking something else and didn't say. Dick and Rose show. How you doing, Dick and Rose show? Well, we had a lot of people in here today. Six Bang. Who else? That's it. Wow, there's a lot of different people in here today. Okay, we're going. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Love y'all.
Thanks,
Take
bro.
care.
Bye. See ya.
See ya.